With that being said, we'll move on to our top 3, which is related to that. We're just going to rank our top 3 things that we despise other hunters for. Despise is a strong word, but don't get annoyed with that other hunters do on public land when we're whitetail hunting. So my number 3 is hunting out of someone else's stand. Like I said, I don't know that that's ever happened to us that I know of, but if I walked in for some reason and there was somebody else there, or I could tell that somebody else had been in my stand, I would be pissed.
Yeah, I think for me it's just do your own work. Like haul your own stands in there, do your own work, do your own pre-scouting, preseason stuff. Like just do your own work. Don't mooch off somebody else that put that stand up there and there, that took the time maybe off work or bought the stand and used their money to buy the stand and use their time to take off work to drive there to do the work and just mooch off somebody. I think it's kind of the point of that one for me.
Yeah, so that was my number 3. Like I said, I don't think it's ever happened that I know of or I've ever encountered it, but I just know if I walked in and there's someone else standing up there and I was like, I would just be pissed. I don't even know what I'd do. But yeah, that's my number 3.
I might pull one of those other ones and sit right next to it.
Like
probably
fire
wouldn't be
with
the
fire.
nicest thing to do. But yeah, my number 3 is stealing stuff. I've never understood walking through the woods, seeing a trail camera and saying, I'm going to take that. Again, that's somebody else's money. They worked for that, and you're just going to take it because you're a terrible person. I mean,
yeah,
if you steal someone else's stuff, you're a terrible person.
You broke the law.
Yeah. Don't steal somebody else's stuff. We've walked past hundreds of cameras in the woods. It's never crossed my mind to take it. Like, even if they're up and you have a viewer and you want to look at the pictures, go for it. I don't care. Look at my pictures before you steal it.
Yeah.
Open it, look at the SD card, look at the pictures to gain information, put it back. Yep. Don't steal someone else's stuff. I never get that. We've had them stolen before, and it's just like, what kind of people are you that you're stealing somebody else's stuff?
Yeah, it doesn't even cross my... we think we know who... We don't know, but we've seen the people that we think stole ours that time.
Yeah.
But it's just like, again, I just don't... Like you said, it's hard to explain, but it's just like what goes through your mind that you think you can just take it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, like you said, never once for a split second even crossed my mind like, that's a nice muddy trail camera. I think I'll take that with me. Never once. I'm like, oh, someone's trail camera. Cool. Keep moving.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. Tree stands or anything. We found a climber stand that was just laying on the ground right on the trail.
Yeah.
Just walked right by it. Some people
like
probably
multiple
steal it.
Trail cameras. It's like, don't steal other people's stuff. It's not yours. Use what's yours and leave what somebody else's.
Yep, that's definitely one that I just don't completely understand. So my number 2 was setting up too close.
That's mine as well.
Okay, whether you're, already have the tree stand up, or like you, where you're in there first and the guy's doing a hang and hunt, and he's hanging and hunting right next to you. So that's just my number 2. That is just one that would just make me...
There's
it would
plenty...
make me mad.
No matter how small the public land might be, there's probably somewhere else you can go. If you're in second... We've been in second before. You're too slow. Mm-hmm. Turkey hunting, same thing. Guy was there first. We let him go.
He was there first.
Yeah. He won.
Yep.
And there's plenty of room most of the time. Talk to people. There's plenty of room. Set up somewhere else.
Yep.
Whether you're first or second.
Yeah. That's the thing, too, that makes no sense to me. He was there first. To me, it's common sense, that simple.
Yeah. And if I wanted to be there first, I could have got up 30 minutes earlier. Yep. I decided sleep was better.
Yep. Or he beat you to the hang and hunt spot you thought was great. He beat you to it, go find somewhere, find the next great spot.
Yeah.
To me, it's just that simple. It just moved on to, okay, I gotta go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't for everybody else.
And half the time, that forces you to go somewhere you didn't think about, and it ends up being better.
It ends up just as
because
good.
You're like, I never would have went here. That guy not forced me to go somewhere else.
Yep. Sometimes you need that change.
So many times with the hunting pressure, especially on that one when we first started, the hunting pressure pissed us off, but it pushed us to spots that we should have been hunting. We just didn't realize it, and it's helped us learn.
Yep. You want to do your number 1? They might be the same.
Yeah, this one's maybe more of a Nebraska thing, and I'm not sure if this rule applies everywhere. I think it applies in Iowa maybe too, but not taking your tree stands down. So some reference here in Nebraska, you can put your stands up on August 15th, right?
August 15th, because we have a September 1st opener. It's 15 days before.
Yeah, and then you have to take them down by like February 1st or February 15th, something like that.
Yeah.
So then they're not supposed to be up during the summer months. You're supposed to put them up and take them down, and people do not. Because for some reason they think lugging lighter stands in there's smart. I would never do that. That was just too much work.
Yeah.
But they don't take them down. And I think you talk to the conservation officer in an area on that one piece of public. I can't remember how many. He said he took down 30 plus stands
On one,
on
only
a,
on
on
one
a field
side.
edge. On a field edge
Yeah.
on one side. 30 plus stands on one side on a field edge, and it's ridiculous. They did not take them down, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Take them down.
Again,
Follow
it's
the
a
rules.
rule that everybody else is following, so they should have to too.
Yeah.
Take them, but like you said, they're big ladder stands, so they don't want to haul them in and out, which I understand. But then don't get the big ladder stands, or realize you have to haul them in and out.
Yeah. And I would have paid anything to be under those trees on September 1st when those people showed up for the 7th year in a row thinking their stands were there and there was nothing there. I
Yeah.
would have given
I
anything
would
to
have
be
gladly
there.
like.
Not hunted.
I won't shoot a deer, but tell me what days these people are showing up, and
so I can
want to
be there and get their reaction when they come back and their stands are gone.
Yep. So not only did they lose the stand, but then now they can't hunt or they have to sit on the ground. It just
Yeah.
would have been great.
It would have been-
It's just the
it's
best
karma
The
coming
best
back.
lesson teacher right there is
Yeah.
for them to walk in and not have a stand. But yeah, that's a good one. They just don't do it. It's not enforced all that much. We're lucky to have a really good officer in our area that now does it, which is great because kind of starting to get that, hopefully on the decline. But it's just like we always take ours down. It's just we don't have a whole lot of permanent ones, but we always take them down. Again, it's a rule. Just like you can't shoot after a certain time, you have to wait to shoot till a certain time. You have to use a size broadhead, whatever. It's a rule. So I don't know why, but we have to follow it.
This is kind of a story that's related but not related. So when I was with the hunting public, there's this piece of public where we'd always park and go back in, and there's this guy that lived up on the hill, and he was always made sure that you knew he was there and he was watching. Like every time we'd park there, he'd drive his side-by-side down there on his property line every time to let us know he was there. And we were talking to him, and he kind of became somewhat friendly with us because he recognized the Smurf. He recognized Warb's car. So he'd be like, oh, I know you guys kind of sort of. But then he told us he'd go in there and take people's stands down. Like he'd see them, he'd just go in there and take them because like 2 years ago, one of his stands were stolen off his private or something. So now every year he just goes in there and takes people's stands down. I'm like, that's kind of crazy, you grumpy old man. But
Yeah.
that's kind of related, kind of not related, but it's kind of a funny
Yeah,
story.
you get a lot of that, and I wonder if some of it is marking their spots. They don't want to lose
Yeah.
them, so they just leave them up. I think that's some of it. There's private land guys that put them up right on the fence with no intention of ever hunting them.
Just to keep
I've never
people
seen
away from
anybody in
them.
them. It's just to keep people away from the private, which can't say I blame them all that much for doing that. But again, that's private. They can leave them up. That obviously doesn't apply. But I think a lot of it is just it's laziness and marking their spots.
Yeah,
I think.
I always see deer. I want to see deer every year. Yeah, marking your territory kind of thing.
My number one is the sabotaging the hunt deal. So, like we talked about that quite a bit earlier. We don't have to go re-through all of that, but just the sabotaging the hunt in general, whatever way they choose to do
Just
that.
common courtesy, I think, is the general theme of all of this. Just be courteous to other people. Think about it. Do the right thing. Not that hard. Doing the right thing, you don't steal somebody's stuff. You try not to sabotage your hunt. If you do, you apologize. You make it right by getting out of there, not setting up next to them, just doing the right thing.
Yeah, so there's a lot of challenges with hunting public land whitetails. Let's not make it harder on each other or any less enjoyable
But
on
being
each
less
other.
considerate.
Yeah, let's all stick together. Let's all follow the rules that all of us have to follow, and I think we'll all have a more enjoyable experience while we're hunting
I think
whitetails.
this is a side note, but there's problems with people trespassing and stealing people's stuff on private land, which is a whole nother level. How do you go onto somebody's private land and steal their stuff? There's a
Yeah.
whole nother level to it. But I've never gotten those people either that are like, here's a piece of land, I'm just going to park here and go trespass and steal this person's cameras. It's
Yep.
crazy. You hear that all the time. You're like, how do you get them stolen on private land? People are just
shouldn't-
doing stuff.
You shouldn't
Crazy.
have to. You shouldn't have to lock anything up on private.
No,
but you
but
do.
you do. People lose them all the time. It's crazy. That's a whole nother level.